There's a man out there.
What?
Look, he's crawling on...
Rest of the book. To serve man, it's a cookbook.
Yes, you've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Coming up next, we're counting down 10 classic Twilight Zone episodes where the laws of physics are more like guidelines than science facts. It's a world where asteroids have Earth-like gravity, and the nearest habitable planet is closer to Earth than Venus. Sound impossible? Well, that's because it is. But this is the Twilight Zone. Now, let's see how far the Twilight Zone bent the rules of physics so far they nearly broke. And be sure to stay to the end for a bonus Science Error episode. Now, let's see how breaking the laws of nature created some of TV's most unforgettable moments. Fantasy, sci-fi, horror, rerun zone. Third from the Sun, Season 1, Episode 14.
It's the third planet from the sun, Bill. It's called Earth.
Let's start this off with one of my personal favorite episodes, Third from the Sun. In this one, Will Sturka, a scientist at a military base, is working in a plant that produces bombs preparing for a nuclear war.
It's coming, boy. It's really coming, and a big one, too.
He knows that the only way to escape total annihilation is by stealing an experimental spacecraft and traveling to another planet.
We're leaving. You and Jody and I and Jerry and Ann. We're leaving tonight.
Sturka enlists his friend Jerry Ryden, a trained pilot, along with their wives and Sturka's daughter Jody. They secretly make arrangements to escape their war-torn planet to a peaceful one.
How far?
11 million miles.
The twist, of course, was they were living on an alien world and heading for a planet called Earth. The story is classic Twilight Zone and is still fun to watch, but there's no planet within 11 million miles of Earth. Venus, our closest neighbor, is around 25 million miles away. SERLING's twist is excellent, but astronomy says that this trip is a ghost ride.
Ahead lies a place called Earth, the third planet from the sun.
Elegy, Season 1, Episode 20.
You're real. Well, of course I am. Isn't everybody?
This one has several scientific errors. 3 astronauts run out of fuel and land on an asteroid.
Conditions identical to Earth, and yet we're 655 million miles away from Earth.
After touchdown, they see that it's orbiting a binary star. That's science error number 1. They can't be in our solar system if they're on an asteroid around a binary star.
To my knowledge, Earth has never had more than one sun.
Science error number 2. The asteroid has an atmosphere and gravity that are similar to Earth. Of course, neither of these things are possible, but this is the Twilight Zone, so maybe they've been transported to the 5th dimension. Science error number 3. The asteroid is a graveyard, preserving the rich to be posed forever, doing the thing they love the most in life.
Happy Glades promises eternal peace, everlasting peace.
It's a macabre museum, which is creepy enough, but humans would still decay over time, unless frozen or in the vacuum of space. These errors don't take away from the story or the Twilight Zone twist at the end, of course.
And while there are men, there can be no peace.
The episode is still entertaining and a fun watch. Eye of the Beholder, Season 2, Episode 6.
Now, you know you can't expect to live any kind of a life among normal people.
Janet Tyler lies swathed in bandages, praying surgery will fix her hideous face. In this world, beauty is a pig-snouted norm, and she's a disfigured outcast.
I could wear a mask or this bandage, or I wouldn't bother anybody.
Doctors whisper, shadows loom, and the reveal flips everything on its head.
No change. No change at all.
Janet is stunningly beautiful, while everyone else is a grotesque pig-like caricature.
Needle, please.
Exiled for her difference, she's a tragic figure in a conformist nightmare. But here's the catch. Genetics don't work like that. A whole population looking identical? Mutations would sneak in, diversity would creep back, no matter how many scalpels they use. This episode is incredible, and one of the best in the entire series. But biology says it's not possible. Uniformity like that is a sci-fi pipe dream.
I think you're gonna like it where I'm gonna take you. You'll be with your own kind.
SERLING's twist is a standout though, leaving us questioning who is really the monster. Before I get to the next episode, if you like classic TV, movies, and nostalgia, you're going to love it here at Rerun Zone. So take a minute to hit that subscribe button below. And while you're at it, consider becoming a channel member for as little as 99 cents. It really helps out the channel. Now back to our show. Probe 7 over and out, Season 5, Episode 9.
This is my galaxy. See, I went off course. I didn't have enough power to get back.
In Probe 7 over and out, Colonel Adam Cook, an astronaut, crash lands on a lush planet where the gravity and atmosphere are similar to those of his home world.
I've crash landed into a planet system 4.3 light years from our sun.
Alone, he radios for help, but his world is on the brink of destruction due to a world war. His last contact with this planet ends with the words,
I hope your new world will be different. I hope you'll find no words such as hate.
Then, in a cosmic coincidence, Cook encounters an alien woman, another crash survivor from her distant world. At first, she's suspicious of him, but finally, they bond and start to communicate, finding a common language.
We've just given this place a name. All right. We'll call it Earth.
And the woman's name? Why, Eve, of course. Eve Norda. Now for the science. 2 separate species from different planets with matching DNA? Food, air, microbes, everything matches up? Evolution doesn't work that way. One person's poison could be the other one's lunch. It's a hopeful Genesis tale, but biology says their love story's more likely to be a fatal mismatch. To Serve Man, Season 3, Episode 24.
Our intentions are honorable. We desire above all things to help the people of Earth.
In To Serve Man, a race of 9-foot-tall aliens called Canamites land on Earth, promising peace, humanitarian aid, and advanced technology to solve all of humanity's problems. They leave behind a book in an alien language that should be impossible to decode without a common reference point.
Only that you simply trust us.
Instead, the title of the book is deciphered in just a few days. No Rosetta Stone, no nothing, just pure brainpower. Michael Chambers, a skeptical cryptographer, watches as humanity cheers the translation, only to board the alien ship for a trip to their alien world. The twist hits like a gut punch.
Rest of the book, To Serve Man, it's a cookbook.
And humans are the main course. But hold on, what about the science? Decoding an alien tongue that fast? Science says it would be impossible without a reference point like a Rosetta Stone.
Please, Mr. Chambers, eat. We wouldn't want you to lose weight.
Pure fantasy, but who cares? It's still one of the best episodes of the series. On Thursday, we leave for home, Season 4, Episode 16.
Colonel Sloan, commanding the Galaxy 6. Our orders are to transport you all back to Earth.
On Thursday, we leave for home is set in 1991, where 113 people have established a settlement on the harsh desert planet V9 Gamma to escape the wars on Earth, a common theme by Rod.
And they struggled. They did to stay alive.
By 2021, the settlers, led by Captain Benteen, request to be rescued due to the harsh living conditions.
6 months' time, we'll all be drinking chocolate ice cream sodas.
When Colonel Sloan and the rescue mission arrive, Benteen tries to convince the settlers to stay on V9 Gamma, but they all choose to return home instead, leaving him behind on the planet.
Captain Benteen, we leave at 0800 tomorrow morning. Don't wait for a fetching committee.
As the ship departs, Benteen realizes his mistake and tries to join them, but it's too late.
Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me here!
So what's the science error? Well, in this episode, V9 Gamma is portrayed as a planet with twin suns and no night. Humans living 30 years on a scorching alien planet with perpetual daylight and little shade stretches credibility. Heat stroke and dehydration would have probably killed them well before the 30 years were up. The Rip Van Winkle Caper, Season 2, Episode 24.
All 4 of us will be placed in a state of suspended animation.
In the Rip Van Winkle Caper, 4 thieves steal $1 million in gold bars, and they plan to use suspended animation to hide out for 100 years.
None of you mind being helpless and closed up in these?
But when they wake up, mistrust and accidents lead to the deaths of 3 of them.
1 drink, 1 bar of gold. That's the price.
The sole survivor is forced to walk through the desert, gradually discarding the gold as it becomes too heavy. He eventually collapses from dehydration and dies after offering his last gold bar to a passerby for help.
Didn't people use gold for money?
Sure, about 100 years or so ago.
It's an interesting premise, but clothing and a vehicle remain in usable condition after 100 years, which is almost impossible due to natural degradation. Sleeping 100 years in a gas-filled cave without aging or bodily decay also defies biology. Metabolism doesn't pause, and cells continue to break down over time. Another science error. The Shelter, Season 3, Episode 3.
The Civil Defense Authorities request that if you have a shelter already prepared, go there at once.
This episode, titled The Shelter, starts off with a quiet birthday party until emergency sirens go off. The nukes are coming! Dr. Stockton locks his family in their tiny basement bomb shelter while desperate neighbors pound on the door, begging to get in.
You're a doctor! You're supposed to help people!
Tensions boil, friendships shatter, as the neighbors try to break down the door to the shelter. And then, amidst the chaos, the radio tells them it's a false alarm.
Repeat, there are no enemy missiles approaching. The objects have been identified as satellites.
The neighbors try to make light of it, try to laugh it off, but the damage is already done. But here's the science. A suburban basement versus an H-bomb? Heat would fry them all, fallout would poison the air, and that flimsy door wouldn't hold. Real shelters need concrete thick as your arm and filtered vents, not a cellar stash. SERLING paints a grim portrait of human panic here, but physics says they'd all be ashes if the bombs went off, not awkward neighbors in the morning. It's an ugly portrait of the dark side of human nature and another great Twilight Zone episode. I Shot an Arrow into the Air, Season 1, Episode 15.
So an aircraft with an 8-man crew just disappears like a puff of smoke.
Here, we follow a group of astronauts who crash land on what they believe is a barren asteroid or distant planet after a malfunction during launch.
We have crash landed on what appears to be an uncharted asteroid.
With little water and a harsh desert environment, tensions rise quickly. One of the surviving members turns ruthless, killing his fellow astronauts to conserve water for himself.
Come on, Corey. I want to know where you left Pierce's body and what you did with him!
Eventually, after murdering his last companion, he climbs over a ridge and is stunned to see telephone poles and a highway.
We've never left the Earth. That's why nobody tracked us.
The episode hinges on the crew mistaking Earth for another celestial body. A dramatic idea, but scientifically flawed. Even in 1960, astronauts would have access to basic navigation tools that would detect Earth's magnetic field, gravitational pull, atmospheric composition, and celestial markers. The fact that the planet has breathable air, Earth's gravity, and a day-night cycle identical to Earth's should have been obvious to the astronauts. It's a compelling moral tale, but scientifically, forget about it. The Invaders, Season 2, Episode 15. And at number 1, we have The Invaders. This nearly wordless episode has an isolated elderly woman living alone in a rustic farmhouse. One night, she's startled by a strange buzzing flying saucer that lands on her roof. From it emerges 2 tiny humanoid figures in spacesuits. These invaders attack her with painful weapons, but she fiercely defends herself using household items. In the end, she examines the saucer-like spacecraft. Here's the twist. The so-called invaders were actually miniature American astronauts, and the woman was the alien from their perspective.
The ship's destroyed. Incredible race of giants here. Race of giants.
The science doesn't hold up though. If the woman is a giant alien compared to the human astronauts, the giant's gravity would be crushing for the tiny invaders. Their ability to walk, fight, and operate a spaceship in the high-gravity environment wouldn't be possible. Plus, their spaceship is very small, which makes the idea of it being an interplanetary spacecraft, let alone carrying 2 humans and equipment, scientifically impossible. Propulsion, life support, fuel, and navigation systems just wouldn't fit in such a tiny vessel. It's a suspenseful tale and a true classic episode, but it's still pure sci-fi fantasy. Time Enough at Last, Season 1, Episode 8.
Everybody's dead except me.
And now for our bonus episode. Here we have Henry Bemis, a bespectacled bookworm. He ducks into a bank vault to read during lunch. Then, he emerges dazed into a wasteland. But hallelujah, libraries are untouched, with books lying everywhere. A reader's paradise.
Books! Books! All the books I'll need! All the books! All the books I'll ever want!
All alone, he stacks books, dreaming of endless pages until suddenly, his glasses fall off his face and shatter into pieces, leaving him virtually blind. It's heartbreaking, right? But let's check the science. A nuke that wipes out humanity would torch everything nearby, vault or not. Radiation would seep in and paper would be ash. Henry's cozy survival, strolling through a post-apocalypse library, defies the fiery chaos of nuclear physics. Rod Serling spins this tale of irony, but in reality, Henry would be a goner, not a librarian in a dead world. Still, one of the best twists of the series and a classic episode. Of course, this list is just for fun, because The Twilight Zone is probably the best anthology series of all time, and was more about exploring human nature and societal issues than getting the science right. That's part of what makes the show a timeless classic. If you agree or disagree with my list, or just had fun checking out these science errors, let me know about any other errors that you've spotted in the original episodes in the comments below. This is Rich from Rerun Zone. Thanks for watching, and good night.
You, Mr. Bemis, are a reader.
A reader?